What's up, guys? Craig Mack here, Liberty Bell Beekeepers. So we're out in Malvern, Pennsylvania today. Beautiful old stone home, cedar roof, and we got some bees up in a dormer. You can see where they're coming in up here in the corner. Take you back there and get a look. Tight quarters today, working off a ladder. Seems to be a lot of ladder work lately, but scaffolding isn't always an appropriate option. So got my vacuum set up, buckets, all the good stuff. So here's where our bees are coming in. Very common area in these dormers where the shingles meet. The crown molding and the fascia, bees are getting in. Looks like they're also using this side. This is a 2-year colony, I think. Possibly longer. The nature of these old houses, they could have long histories of infestation, and I'm kind of anticipating some evidence of some old comb in here, but we'll see what's happening. So we're going to take off this clapboard here from the top, work our way down. I'm only going to try to take off the top 3, but I think I'm going to end up with the 4th piece coming off as well. Cut the paint, pry it off as gently as possible so we have intact material for when we get done. So that's what we got. All right. After a slight delay, we got our space opened up, and she's a beauty. So we got comb built across the front of this here and way to the back, pretty much all the way up to the next set of next truss. This is an absolute monster. What happened is that I forgot my cages. I have one with me, so I had to improvise and make up a couple of more with some buckets. Fortunately, with my homemade bucket vac, I'm able to create some new containers with those buckets. So we're gonna get into this thing. I got a whole mess of bees in here, a whole lot of comb, and a whole lot of work ahead of me. So we're gonna get into this. I'll check back in periodically. Okay, so one more comb, I think, before I'm in the middle, and this thing is just enormous. They got this comb built all the way to almost the back of this dormer. I'm gonna have trouble reaching some of it. I'm gonna literally have to probably sit inside of this. I got 2 full 5-gallon buckets, well, as full as they can get with bees. Probably half filled if they were to be all knocked down. So I have 5 gallons of bees right now. I'm going into my 3rd bucket. I think I'm going to have to make up another one at least in order to get all these bees in here. I mean, it's humongous. I can't even imagine. I couldn't imagine it being this big. This is humongous. But that's the problem with these open spaces and prolific queens. They build a lot of bees. So, back to it. Well, I found my queen. Had to soak her in honey so she didn't run. I got the bees cleaning her up now. Caramel color queen. I think they might be prepping to swarm. Seeing a lot of cups, seeing some elongated ones. I couldn't imagine this thing swarming, man. Oh boy, would have been a monster. Still seeing eggs though, so it might have been a week or so away. But fortunately, it looks like I'm getting through. This is just such a monster hive. This knife, just to give you an idea, this knife is 15 inches of blade, and probably a 5 or 6 inch handle. And it's every bit of that, not to mention the 6 or 7 inches that goes up into the peak. This is just a absolute monster. Prolific bees. According to the scientists, they should be dead. Pretty funny. All right, so as you can probably hear, it's pouring. I'm 8 hours into this removal, and I just got rained out for the last hour of the work I got to do. So I got all the comb almost all out. Got about 5 rows of honey all the way in the back. I got to climb in here and get. Got my queen, got most of my bees, and tomorrow we'll just come back, clean up the remainder of the comb, remainder of the bees, and close her up. But man, what a monster. Holy smokes. You can see this right here. This thing is an absolute beast, and I don't think I've seen one this big in a long time. A lot of work, a lot of bees. Probably, if I had to guess, I got 4 buckets of honey. It's got to be, I gotta say, it's 130 pounds, maybe more. Almost all of it's going back to the bees, but man, what a monster. Long days. This will be a 10-hour removal from start to finish, so gotta love it. Well, that could be a problem. I got bees on the loose. I'm not sure where they're getting out of, but that's a problem for tomorrow. All right, it's early, 6 o'clock. Had a problem last night with the bees I took out yesterday. I got a whole bunch of bees open here in the van. So I got to get these bees out and into a box. It was a mess. So we got to do something about this. I don't know where they're getting out of. All right, let's figure this out. All right, I'm back. Day 2 of this enormous honeybee saga. So here's the space that we're dealing with. It's a dormer. It's approximately 1 to about 30 inches deep. Goes down above the window here. This is over this corner where the bees were entering. If you can see there, they're all jumped up or bunched up there. And we still have some bees back up in here on the remainder of this comb. I got rained out last night and couldn't finish. So we're coming back here today to clean up this remaining comb, pull the remaining honey, and vac up the remaining bees, and close this bitty up. And with this is, we're looking at about 9 hours total from start to finish. Simply in massive colony here. What do we got? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 15, 18, 20 some rows of comb from front to back, top to bottom. Just enormous. Well over 100 pounds of honey. 2-year colony, as it seems. So this colony either moved in early last year, perhaps late the year before. Either way, it was simply stunning, as you could probably see from the beginning of this video. So we're going to work at getting the remainder of the bees and honeycomb out of this, scrape it as clean as we can get it, fill her up with some insulation, and then close it up. What a monster. Man.